baby girl, less than your old that I see in the block for ya. I'm a child of the kingdom, I love you like you're my God for ya.
Listen, ala umfweni baby, love yanti yama sure def yama maybe. Freshness kweno kumibunka teti, chupo chisu chena ala tepa tali baby. Mwale ngirene walele mbuke mfuke, ine aote team vyuke mpaka fifa.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Love Sunday show and the Love Sunday podcast. So today I'm the one who's opening the show. Alright, so my names are Pastor Mavis Kaira.
And I am Pastor Daniel Musanda Kaira. Welcome to the third episode of the Love Sunday show.
Yes.
Stroke the Love Sunday podcast.
Yes.
If you are joining us for the first time on this show and podcast, please check the links in the description or the comment section, depending on the social media application that you are using, and catch up on everything that you are behind on.
Yes.
Today we still have some exciting stuff that you want to be a part of. But before we get into it, we just want to remind you that Love Sunday 2023 is on this 6th of May 2023 from 9 hours to 16 hours. And by the way, we should mention that although it's Love Sunday, it's going to be on what day?
A Saturday.
It will be on a Saturday.
Yes.
So yes, it's a Love Sunday, but don't think the 6th of May will be on a Sunday. No, it will be on a Saturday. That's very important for you to note.
Yes.
We have maintained the name Love Sunday because over the years, the name Love Sunday has been a brand as opposed to a day. This is why we also have the Love Sunday podcast and the Love Sunday show, because the Lord has allowed it that Love Sunday should be a brand. So take note of those things.
Yes.
Let's get right into the show.
Today is very exciting. I don't know why. There's just something about today.
There's a fresh energy.
Yes. Okay, so are you picking or should I pick?
I think you go ahead.
I picked last time. Maybe you can pick.
No, you read better English.
Alright, okay.
What am I supposed to say? You read English, but you see already I am.
Alright, so
Yeah.
okay, let's see what we have for today.
Alright.
We're just diving right into it.
Next week I think I should read.
You should? So we have, I hope people
Number
can say,
9.
no, this is number 6.
They look alike.
Even our 2-year-old son would be able to.
You got it from me.
Alright, so we have number 6 today. Okay? Let's see what number 6 says. Hey, where are the questions? Alright, here we go. I knew it would be a good one. So, this is what the dear son and dear daughter letter is saying, okay? So it says, I don't think you should be friends with your ex. That's how it starts already.
Yeah, but
I knew it would be a good one. Okay, so I don't think you should be friends with your ex. Neither should you be enemies. Okay?
That's interesting.
Remember, you are not enemies with the people you have not yet met. Interesting. So not being friends does not mean being enemies. You just can't be in each other's spaces. Okay? You won't move on healthily. Every time you see them, you will end up having disturbances mentally and emotionally. Okay? When you start a new relationship, your ex will be a source of anarchy. Alright? The friendship should be non-existent. A lot of people who cheat in relationships cheat for this reason, that they were careless with their ex. So, the revamped old feelings never underestimate the weakness of the flesh. Okay? May I just read that again? Allow me to read that again.
Go ahead.
Alright? That they were careless with their ex, so that the revamped old feelings.
I see.
Alright, so never underestimate the weakness of the
The
flesh.
weakness of the flesh.
Exactly.
Or the strength of the flesh. The power of the flesh.
Exactly.
The power of the flesh is called its weakness.
Never underestimate the weakness of the flesh. Stay away and maintain your integrity. Remember, you had a special friendship with this person, and that has to end because you need to start a very similar kind of friendship with a new person. Two triggers never live in the same mountain.
Two tigers.
Two tigers, eh? Two tigers. I'm still very good at it.
There's just something about, just a quick comment. There's just something about, I think there's something about knowing that that person dated the person I'm dating.
Wow, yeah.
That just causes you to sort of have like a feeling towards them, which is in between enmity and enmity.
Which is the two tigers part.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let me read this in my MBA English. Okay.
Oh, come.
Two tigers never live in the same mountain. The crash will be catastrophic. Okay. In the same vein, you will end up emotionally cheating. Cheating is not just sexual. There is a very special close friendship or companionship you must find only in one person. Okay? When you have that level of friendship in two people, you are cheating on one of them.
Wow. So there is something about a person that you once dated. There's a Bible proverb. It says, here we go. It says, so what that simply means is that a field which you once dug in is not difficult to redig in. But back in the day, there were already ridges, so after you harvest, you just go back and make the same ridges and you just reinforce them. So that means there's a way you understand each other with that person, there's a way you used to talk. So a person that you were dating is like that field where you find that it's easier for you to sort of revamp certain feelings. It's like a wound. When you have a wound and you get healed, leave it to heal. Some of them are like injuries. Once you just move it a bit, don't trust the flesh, don't trust yourself. The moment you begin going back there, you now find that you are just a weak man. And you can fall in love again with the same person whilst you are with another person. So what you're supposed to do, this is how you handle an ex. Don't hate them. Don't have any enmity, but don't even have any friendship at all. They should just be like a fellow Zambian. The Zambian that you find in the road, on the road. You are not enemies, you are not friends. You can even, in Zambia, we greet each other as guys. We say, yes, yes, yes. I don't know. Whoever invented that is good. So we just say, I think we want to make life easy. We just say, yes, yes. And that's it, Because also, again, when a person finds out, there's just something again about finding out that that's the person that my partner was dating. That just makes you feel a bit insecure. So you find that if it's women, they want to guard their territory. They want to mark their territory. And there's nothing as bad as making your partner jealous. Whatever you do, try by all means not to build feelings of jealousy in your partner. That's not healthy for the relationship. Also on this area, what I can say is this. The Bible says, there are people, let me begin by saying there are people who say that, no, but you see, me, I'm not a bad person. I don't want to stop associating with this person. Maybe they also need to change. My friend, you're not the only one that can preach to that person. The Bible says bad company corrupts good morals.
Exactly.
That person can be bad company to you. There are some people who are bad company to you, and you must stay away from them.
Yes.
So one of the people that you must stay away from, also for the sake of your relationship, and I'm sure my wife is going to touch on that, for the sake of your new found friendship, the person you must stay away from is your ex. Yeah, so you can say something on that as well, especially on how it impacts your new friendship.
Yes, okay. I think how I'm going to open this statement
No
is
problem.
there's a reason why that person is your ex, okay? There's a reason why you broke up. What I've come to realize is that for most people, they forget why they actually ended the relationship with that particular person. And then it's very interesting that in that season, okay, the enemy will only bring to your remembrance like the good times you guys had together. All of a sudden you just remember the ice cream, you just remember the money, you just remember, you know, the times he would call you and whatnot, but you're forgetting the reason that actually led to the breakup. Maybe there was a cheating, sexual immorality, or, you know, any of those things. And then what ends up happening is that the enemy will only bring to your remembrance those good times that you had together, and then you lean towards that nostalgic feeling of, oh my goodness, I actually once loved this person, and before you know it, you're getting a shovel and, you know, like bringing those feelings back to life. Now that's very dangerous, especially when you have already moved on to somebody else. And now, which is now a topic for another day, if you are actively in a relationship and allowing yourself to easily get emotionally attached to somebody else, especially somebody that you were once with, then you have no business being in a relationship. Because you need to understand that when I embark on this journey of being in a relationship, let me be armed with all the tools and all the mechanisms that I need to ensure that this thing works.
Exactly.
And you being close friends with an ex, or you keeping a certain level of friendship with an ex is not healthy. It's a threat. It's a serious threat to your new relationship. And what I have come to discover also is most people learn this the hard way. Nobody has, okay, it's very rare for me to see somebody who admits and says, okay, you know what, I'm very wrong, and, you know, this situation is very bad. Most of the times it starts very innocently, you know, like, no, I can never do such a thing.
It's
I
just
can
someone
never.
I knew.
Exactly. You know, this person, and, you know, we broke up on very mutual grounds, and it was a very peaceful breakup, so there's no way, there's no way anything can ever happen between us. But that's already trusting in the flesh. The best thing that you can do for yourself is avoid at all costs. Many people like to see how close they can dance with the enemy, but then still identify as believers. They want to see how close they can, like, you know, how far is too far. You know, this is how people get themselves in trouble, because they think, I can never, the way I love my boyfriend, I can never do this thing. Trust me, even the greatest cheater today.
I like that. Trusting in the flesh.
Exactly. Even the person who has 50 girlfriends.
You know, that reminds me of something. When you are dating someone, and you are finding yourselves in very lonely places, saying nothing will happen.
Exactly.
I think I can't do him. I can't kiss him. I can't do. I don't know that word came up, but I can't do anything. I can't sleep him. She can't sleep me. It's also trusting in the flesh, the same way that you think, it's just someone I knew in the past. You are trusting in the flesh. I like that. I like that point. Please continue.
You are trusting so much in the flesh, and you, you know, so ignorant. This is what the Bible also teaches us, that, you know, let everyone take heed, you know, lest they fall.
Let the one who thinks they stand take heed.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Let everyone who stands take heed, lest they fall. So it's very important for you to do a self-examination, and for you to not think of yourself as this high person, and it's impossible for you to, you know, develop feelings with another person. One thing that people don't understand is that emotions can be trained, and I learned this from you, Pastor. Emotions can be trained. All right. This is how you find, you know, you've only known this person for a very short time, but then because you guys are constantly spending time together, you grow a natural fondness towards that person. And then you discover this
even if you thought the nose is the ugliest you've ever
Precisely. I've seen situations
you
where...
start noticing that actually it's divine.
Yes. Situations where this lady, every single place she's worked, she's had an emotional attachment to a particular guy there. And then before you know it, you look back, you know, and 3 years down the line, you're asking yourself, how did I allow myself to be attached to that person? Because you guys were constantly in the same work environment, and you crossed certain boundaries that, you know, should not have been crossed.
This is why the Bible says, flee.
Exactly.
So praying in tongues this time when you are with your ex doesn't stop the feelings.
No, it doesn't. So the best thing that you can do, for me, I would rather you set up such high boundaries and protect yourself than just leave things carelessly and suffer the consequences later. So we've seen people who have left good relationships simply because they didn't put up healthy boundaries. Okay? And we've seen it time without number. This is why we're having this conversation today, so that people can be protected and they can be aware and they cannot trust in their flesh to those extents. Yeah.
Wow. So catch us on the podcast for extra information.
Yeah.
As for now, we've got some exciting stuff on the Utunenso segment and the Yakaba moments. See you in the next episode.
Hi, my name's Prophet Gomez Yoshamani.
And I am Mrs. Stacy Shamani, and we are
The Shays. We're glad to be part of the Utunenso segment.
How did you meet?
Okay, so I think each one of us has got a different story as to how we met. I'll talk about mine, and he'll talk about his. You know? Yeah. Okay, so for me, I think that was 2014. We were invited to a school called Pisakasu. You know, we're freshly part of WEM in the praise team. So we went there, and then I remember being introduced to, there was him and there was his friend. Yeah, but I remember his friend. I remember seeing his friend there. I don't remember seeing him. I don't remember seeing him. Yeah. Is this supposed to be that long?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, baby. Yes, I don't remember seeing him, but I remember seeing his friend. And then officially we were introduced by a mutual friend at WEM. Yes. I think it was day of faith.
Exactly. Just as she said, I would just say we met in the presence of the Lord in a glorious meeting, and we're ministering, and I see this young lady come with a good brother of mine, and that's how we met. We exchanged greetings, and from there the Lord ordered our steps. So that's how we met.
Did you like each other at first sight?
No, unfortunately.
You didn't like me. You didn't like me.
We didn't like each other at first sight. My eyes were not yet open by then. Everyone by then looked like
a tree.
But I know. The Lord was obviously preparing me for a glorious unveiling. So it was not love at first sight, but at least one thing that I did notice when I saw her the first time was to observe that this young lady carries tremendous grace. So, yeah.
Okay. From the first day that you spoke, what was your first impression of him? How did he come out?
Well, he was, I think, I looked at this guy who really liked, each time that I would see him from that time, he liked bow ties, so he looked very serious. He was a very serious guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's my first impression. He was a serious guy. And I remember his first words, he looked at me and he's like, I knew I was going to talk to you the first time I saw you. Prophetic people, so.
Prince Charming. Alright.
What was your first impression of me?
Yes, the producer.
Really?
Did he look like your dream guy?
Well.
Slim Giant.
Not necessarily. I
saw
think
the
I saw his heart. Yeah. Okay. Not necessarily. I think he's got a testimony of how I would actually talk about the guy I wanted. So
Give us a brief description.
Yeah, I mean, when I was,
Let me do the description.
It's not exaggerated. Actually, when I used to talk to her, she had this saying concerning her future husband, and she said, you know what, my future husband has rather blue eyes, looks like an angel.
I was talking about that. Okay, it goes.
She was describing an angel. He's big, and I saw my qualities: blue eyes, checking at how he black, muscular structure, in the spirit. That one applies to my spirit, and you know the other descriptions of an angel. So I just said no. I humbled myself. I said, I will support you when you meet that man, and I'm offering to dance on your lineup.
He wanted to be my best man.
The best man of your non-gang. But it so happens that I was the best man
For me.
Did you genuinely support her with the idea of the guy she wanted?
Of course. I've been a very supportive person. Very, very supportive.
You're my no good.
What you mean? Yeah, I was happy. Very happy. Happy for her. Yeah.
She
You
was
know,
happy.
I know there was a minor sharp pain, but you know, we give everything unto the Lord. Yeah. I'm honest. Yeah. No, I was inspired. Because the first time that I actually saw you, you were actually ministering and you held this young lady, you hugged her, and she got slain. I'm like, oh, wow.
Nice impression.
So it was a very awesome experience. I said, okay, this is amazing to see someone so passionate for God. And I just said, wow.
We bless the Lord.
What made you believe you're taking the right step?
What made us believe we'll take it the right step? Obviously, personally, I had a strong conviction, not just a conviction, but a direction from the Lord. And apart from that, I did take time to develop my friendship with her, which was a sufficient platform to allow me to test our compatibility. So the Lord spoke it, I believed it, I related with her, and I was so convinced that this is a woman I should spend my life with.
How did the Lord speak?
How did the Lord communicate to me? Well, the Lord speaks once, twice. But man, anyway, seriously, how did the Lord speak? By that time, I did not even
Like
No, yeah, I didn't like her. But in my time of prayer, he did communicate on whom I should go and pursue, and it seemed to be her, and I went for the catch. I went for the catch.
Okay, so for me, I think I had hints way before. I think us ladies know. I'm not being biased, but I think us ladies know before they know. So I think even the prayers I was making prior to him actually walking into my life were like a light for me to be able to identify and say, okay, he's the one, yes. So I can give an example of, for example, a prayer I once made about me getting to know if he's the one or not. One of the prayers was that if he was going to come along, he was going to first see me as his sister before anything else, because I needed somebody who was able to not just see me as a romantic partner, but somebody who was going to look at me and want to protect me. Yes. Yeah.
I was under the influence of her prayers.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
So
Yeah.
that's
Do you encourage people aspiring to date to go through the friend zone?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, of
Maybe
course.
we do. Yes.
Of course. I
We
don't
do. It's
even think
important, yes.
friendship should not even end. It should be something that
It's a
people
foundational
exactly,
thing. Yes,
yeah.
it should be a foundation.
It should be something that people should carry on, because it's in friendship stage where you get to know each other. It's in
Yes,
friendship
the real
stage
you.
where you get to express where you're coming from, express what your beliefs are, what you stand by. It's a very important and fundamental.
Yes, I remember those. Because for us, before we even entered into, like we said before, we never necessarily had romantic feelings for each other. So all we had was friendship. That's all we had to build on. I remember the first time that we got to discover, oh, so you're the one, I'm the one. We went to downtown by foot to go and buy super shake, and we came back walking. We would literally be taking walks and singing opera in the road. We had fun. We got to know each other aside from I love you baby, I love you baby. Yeah, so we got to know each other like that.
Yeah, so it's a very fundamental and important platform, because really in genuine friendship you don't necessarily have to fake things.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're all real. There's a level of openness.
Exactly.
And obviously when you're going into another stage of pursuit, there's an enhanced level which is a little bit different from friendship. You want to please.
Yeah.
You want to please. You want to make sure you grab or win that person's heart. But on a level of friendship, you're really
just you.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Under a minute, what advice would you give to the young generation about singleness and dating?
Wait for your time. Don't try to rush things. Enjoy your single season. Don't try to rush into the next season without the season you are in being complete.
My advice is no person can complete you. Always remember that, first of all, your completeness is in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
And from your completeness, that is where you get to develop yourself and obviously meet your counterpart. So do not seek to fill the void with any person or with any activity whatsoever, but instead find your completeness, your establishment, and all that you need in Christ first, and from there flourish with whoever you're going to run with.
Yeah. Give the best advice.
Thank you. Thank you. Best advice.
Why should people attend Love Sunday?
Love Sunday. You need to attend.
You need to be there.
If you have an appointment, cancel it.
Cancel it.
You need to attend Love Sunday, because I believe this is a meeting that the Lord has deliberately set, for many people, even just for everyone that will be in attendance, to have, a different or a heavenly view of relationships.
Exactly.
One of the things that we need to restore in this generation is that relationships and marriage can be enjoyable.
Exactly.
All right. Many people believe that such things are platforms and arenas of destruction or pain or whatsoever. But they need to see what relationships and marriages are from the light of the scriptures, to show us that in such platforms we can actually express our God-given identity. So you need to come for Love Sunday. You just have to come for it, because there's gonna be a lot that will be invested in our lives. Somebody once said, we don't prepare in the future, we prepare for the future.
Exactly.
And these are meetings designed for such preparation. And if you're well prepared, I no failure can overtake you.
Yeah.
So come for Love Sunday, 6th of May. Venue
is the stadium near Absa.
Oh my goodness.
Sunset Stadium.
Exactly. Sunset Stadium.
Yes. Near Absa. The new Absa building. That's what I meant.
Tulipo. Time. If you want to start off at 06 hours, be there.
Be there, yeah.
Yeah. And the time will end perhaps around 16, 17 or whatsoever. But if at all, They say 17 hours, go home, refuse to go, say we want more. I'm telling you, just say we want more. Alright, otherwise see you there.
Okay, so today at the Shay's home, we were having for dinner shima with some mince, kalembla, and eggplant.
Yeah.
In French?
In French, shima de la mince, le calembla, plus the eggplant, and I was the chef for today through her hands. But yeah, this is what we're eating today. Yeah.
Okay, so
we're ready.
We're ready.
To level this mountain.
I'm going to leave.
Mountains melt like wax.
Sir, you have no idea. Where am I going starting from?
Just to show you. So this game, has to stand with this. Right. Power.
You're cheating.
You obey me. Right. Go. Right. You obey me. You obey me.
This one is it. Touch and go. I feel. God, you. It's cheating. You're cheating.
It's supposed to be one bite.
No, until I manage.
You work for me. You bottom. All bottom. You work for me. I am your boss. I am your master. You work for me.
Clearly, I served this man food.
Yeah.
It's my right hand. It's strong, baby.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. If I be,
I tell him to change his confession.
I change your confession, baby.
yeah? That's my
I
confession.
change your confession. Because that is what's working here. Baby, you want me to sleep and grab your wife? Grab your wife.
It's time for Zion to have favor. For God to have favor over you. Almighty Zion.
That was almost. Sir, please, move away. And let me show you how this thing is done.
Are you sure? By the time I flip this, you will not even eat one.
Don't worry.
Yeah, what's happening?
You said it's working against you.
OMG. GMO. OGM. What is happening? Okay, relax. You just have to relax.
Wait, there's one that's
Oh, well,
yes, that was cheating.
the Bible says don't give someone food to die with. Leper. Only pro woman, leper.
Dear son and daughter, I have a ask. Imagine asking for a break from your partner so that you can figure out yourself and pray or think about things. In your moment of prayer and meditation, you realize that the person is really the one for you. Then, you find that the person's heart has withdrawn and they're doing well without you. And they would rather you both went your separate ways. Number 1, what would you do? Number 2, how would you advise someone if it weren't you? Please advise. Yakaba moments.
I don't even know what to do at that point, because that situation is wild. I think I can just continue praying. Maybe angels can talk to her, because there's no way you can after letting go of a girl and then you go back. It's man. Okay, but then for my friend,
Okay. That's a very interesting question. So first things first, I would try and approach the person to talk to them and tell them, no, this is what went down, and I had a moment of prayer, and then in that prayer I had you in mind, but then I would like to wait for what they say, and then if they agree, then I would have to wait, we continue, start talking, go back to talking. But then if it's someone else, if I would be advising someone else, I'll tell them, talk to the person first, see what they say. You can't really push things to someone, because you can't force them into a relationship. If they don't want it, they don't want it. And wait for God to speak to them so that they can also come to you. That's what I would say in that situation or do.
Personally, I would, if they decide they don't want to be with me anymore, even though I prayed and meditated and God showed me that this is the one, I would just refrain and let them be. And I would advise someone else to do the same, because if you force it, it won't. I think it won't work out. So you'd rather just leave them.
Wait, is this in the video? Okay. I think that's very tough. But I have to swallow in everything that has been given, because at the end of the day, I'm the one that asked for the break. And it's to bend from in the inside, and then asking some advice to somebody who's going through the same. I don't ask your partner for a break, as in they've already asked for a break. No. Since you've already asked for a break, the best you can do is allow the person to move on, because you've already asked for a break. There's nothing that you can do at that particular point, because the person has moved on. You can, pray your pain to the Lord. Yeah. I think Pastor gave us a wisdom diary. Was it a wisdom diary, or it was a snippet where he said, when you ask for a break, it's like you're asking somebody to practice how to live without you. So at the end of the day, it's you have a two-way situation. You could find somebody has moved on, and there's nothing that you can do at that particular point but move on yourself, because you asked for the break.
I think if I was to find them that they've already moved on, I would just talk to the person, create the friendship, and make peace with it, because sometimes you can't force love. Love is never forced, because love is patient, love is kind, ABC. So you just have to move on and say, okay, I'm sure somebody like him is going to come across along the way.
You've moved on. When Jesus says yes, no one can say no. In the oasis, in the council of buddies, they can't even say no. And you moved on. No, you move off. It was my friend. Blessed are the mourners, for they shall be comforted. We'll be there laughing at you. But no, for real though, no, just move on. I'm pretty sure if God said yes, they will realize in due time and they'll come back to you. If they don't, it's wild.
I wasn't supposed to ask for a break in the first place, because why am I asking for a break? I'm not sure about us, meaning I have a problem. So I wouldn't blame myself, or I wouldn't blame him for moving on. So yeah, it happens. He actually made a good decision to move on.
That's a tricky one. Okay. So that means that you didn't pray in the first place. You didn't seek the face of God when, when entering the relationship. I think in that in that case, all you can do is, if God has shown you that that is the person for you, you need to start the whole process of pursuit again. Don't start having breaks in the middle of the relationship to seek the face of God. So when you start a relationship, make sure that you are convinced that this is the person for me. So God has said you are the one, and then you've moved on. You are saying you are doing fine without me. You haven't heard the song when Jesus says yes. Not even your friends can say no. So, but if you say no anyway, we'll give it a day, then we'll be back on the market. Trusting the Lord for His usual guidance.